Have you ever felt? Are you listening?
Hey, this is Brittany from She Abundantly at sheabundantly.com, and I wanted to come and talk about something, shed some truth on a beautiful thing that we see often in the sky, the rainbow. Over the years, the rainbow has been depicted as actually something that it does not represent. And I really wanted to come to you and share with you what exactly the rainbow means. So, long ago, there was a man named Noah. I'm sure we all heard of Noah and the ark. When God made man, he made them beautiful and in his image. And along the way, man chose sin over God. And as the years went by, many years, mankind became corrupt, like to the point where there was no love for God, just nothing right in man's heart, kind of like what we see today. At one point, God became disheartened. He became sorrowful and he was sad. He even said he was sad that he made mankind. So out of his acts of righteousness, he told a man named Noah. And Noah was the only man on earth, him and his family, that he could find righteousness inside. Noah was a man who honored God and lived for God. And he told Noah one day to build an ark because he was going to flood the earth and kill all of mankind, and to bring onto the ark him, his wife, his 3 sons, and then his sons' wives. So if you count that up, that's only 8 people. Out of all the world, I don't know how many human beings was on the earth back then, but as of now, I know there's like 6 billion or so humans on the earth. So I just can't imagine how many people were in this flood. But out of all the people, he found Noah's heart to be righteous and saved him and his family. A total of 8 people. He told him to bring onto the ark, which is a huge boat, different kinds of animals, male and female, so that their species can live on, and so that they can repopulate the earth. So for 40 days and 40 nights, God sent rain onto the earth to flood the whole entire earth. With that, all the people and the animals that were left, they died. And I know you're probably thinking like, oh my goodness, this God that we serve, he's supposed to be loving and caring. How could he kill so many people? But think about it like this. When God did that, that was an act of righteousness, an act of justice against sin. Understand what sin is. Sin is an offense towards God. It is doing something out of his will or doing something that he deemed was not right. And it's all for the benefit of us. Obviously, if he's telling us to not do something, it's because the aftermath or the consequences of it is not beneficial to our hearts. It's not honoring him. It's not loving him. It's not worshiping him. So we've heard of heaven and hell, right? God created hell not for people, but for fallen angels, for those who chose wickedness and chose to be completely against God. So the nature of sin can be cast out into hell. God does not desire people to go to hell or be separated eternally from him, because that's what hell is. Hell is a true death. It is eternal separation from God. So when judgment day comes, he's going to send all of sin and wickedness away from him. And unfortunately, the reason why people are going to be there is because we have chosen sin. And God is so righteous, he's so pure and holy that he can't dwell with sin. His nature makes it impossible for him to dwell with sin. It's not that he hates people or, he created people. How can he hate who he created? But he hates the sin that people do. So when he destroys sin, unfortunately, the people that are attached to that sin, whose hearts are locked with that sin, are going to be destroyed with it. So that's what his act of justice is. He doesn't want people to go to hell. Absolutely not. But if you're choosing that sin that's going to go with hell, then you're going to go along with that. So realize that God loves us all, and flee from sin in your heart that is not pleasing to God. Because he desires for all of us to dwell with him for eternity, to live life everlasting on earth and in heaven. Abundancy on earth and everlasting life after earth. So understand what that is, what sin and hell is, and its ultimate act of justice. In God's heart and his decisions, he made the decision to wipe away sin. And that was his act. That was an act of justice, of standing on the side of right and dealing with the side of wrong. And that was the act that he chose, to flood the earth. And after he flooded the earth and, all the waters went away and Noah got out of the boat and the animals and him began to repopulate the earth and all that good stuff. Before all that happened, he made a covenant, which is a promise, with Noah. And it comes out of Genesis chapter 9, starting at verse 12. And God said, "This is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all the living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures of every kind on the earth." So God said to Noah, "This is the sign of the covenant I have established between me and all life on earth." So here we go. What does the rainbow mean? The rainbow represents a promise from God that when we see rain, to remember that God would never flood the earth. He would never destroy the earth again by waters. So the rainbow represents justice. It represents a promise from God, but it also represents grace for him showing us that don't worry. You may see rain, you may see temporary little floods on the earth, but don't worry. I won't wipe out this earth. I won't destroy my people again with this. Now, for those who don't understand God or his love or his grace, may not even understand that. But I encourage you to seek God and to seek out his word and what exactly does his word mean, his character, his heart, what justice is. Justice is to stand up for what's right and come against wrong. So with that, what does the rainbow mean? God created the rainbow. And when we see it in the sky, when we see it depicted anywhere else, let's not get it twisted, okay? Let's remember what things are and remember who created it and why it's been created. The rainbow represents God, his justice, his love, his grace, his mercy. It represents beauty. It represents everything that God is. It represents his promises. And I wanted to encourage somebody and to inform some people who do not know what the rainbow means. That's exactly what it means. So be encouraged. Share with somebody what the rainbow means. All right? Holla.